Hey guys, it's Keeley, and today I'm going to be doing my March reading wrap-up. I read 6 things this month, which I am very excited about. Now, not all of them were full-length novels, but I'm still excited to get that Goodreads goal up. And I just wanted to let y'all know that I have a huge March book haul coming, but I mailed half of those books home, so I'm gonna have to wait until April to film that when I fly back to Texas. But I just wanted to let y'all know that there is a huge March book haul coming. But anyway, let's get on into the wrap up. Now, some of these books I don't have with me because, like I said, I mailed some back, but the first one that I have to talk about is the Magical Movie Handbook for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now, this is just a fun, like, kind of behind the scenes guide to the movie and all of the characters, and I read it just because I am trash for that movie, and I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because honestly it made me like love the movie even more, and it also showed me things that I didn't know about the movie, which was really cool. And if you're a huge fan of the movie like I am, I definitely recommend getting this. It's also a really fun collector's item. The next book I read was Persuasion by Jane Austen, and I read this for my British bestsellers and classics class that I'm taking here. And see some little tabs. I kind of like the whole tabbing thing. I might start doing that. But this is just a typical romance love story as Jane Austen does, and I did not like it one bit, like at all. I gave it 1 star. I had no idea what was going on the entire time. I had no idea who was who. I was just so confused, and honestly it might just be me because I hate the writing style. I just hate Old English so much, and I feel so dumb reading it because I can't understand it. But I don't know, I'll probably read more of Jane Austen just because she's a classic writer and I do respect her so much. But yeah, I just did not like this one at all. The next book I read was the Character Guide for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and this one is very similar to the movie handbook thing, but I still gave this one 5 out of 5 stars because, like I said, I'm trash for the movie. And once again, if you enjoyed the movie and you are a collector of all things magical, then this is another great thing to add to your collection. The next little short story I read was Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell, and I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. It was very fun, but like I just felt like it was too short and I wanted more. It's about this girl who wants to go wait in line for the newest Star Wars premiere, but when she gets there, there's only 2 other people in line. So it's just her staying in that line for 4 days, meeting these people, and just expressing how she feels about Star Wars. And I can definitely relate because I love Star Wars, and as you know, a whole bunch of other things. But yeah, I give this one, I think I already said, 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read for my history class, and that is Henry III by Stephen Church. Now, this one was really interesting, especially if you're interested in the monarchy system and all the different kings, and I give this one 4 out of 5 stars because Henry III is pretty interesting. I mean, he became king when he was 9 years old. And the last book I read in the month of March was Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro, and I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. It was pretty enjoyable, but okay, it follows this butler in the 50s. His name is Mr. Stevens, and he's going on a road trip to see an old colleague of his, and the entire road trip, we don't even get an explanation about the trip. We just get flashbacks from his life, which are pretty interesting, but also, like, I kept forgetting he was on a road trip, and I thought that that was the whole point of the book. But I did not like the main character at all, Mr. Stevens. He was so annoying and disrespectful and just all over the place. I didn't like him at all, but the story was fairly enjoyable, so like I said, 3 out of 5 stars. So along with my reading wrap-ups, I am going to be doing a movie/TV show wrap-up because I also love movies and TV shows, and I know a lot of you can relate, so I just thought I would talk about some things that I watched this month. As for movies, I went and watched the movie Logan, and I absolutely loved it. I cried like a baby because this was Wolverine and Professor X's last movie, and I grew up watching X-Men. I know a lot of people my age grew up watching old Disney, like Disney princesses, but I grew up with Marvel and X-Men, and so this was like the end of a generation for me, and I was just really upset that it was ending, but it ended on such a good note. It follows Logan, aka Wolverine, and it's in the future, and there's this little girl that comes up out of nowhere and has all of Wolverine's abilities, And so craziness ensues, and it's just so good. If you are a fan of Marvel or X-Men, definitely go see it. I will tell you it's very vulgar and violent, but I grew up watching X-Men and Wolverine being violent, so I was used to it, and I loved it very much. Now on to TV shows. I watch way too much TV, so we're gonna go through this, but one of the shows that I finished this month was It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I watched this on Netflix. It has 11 seasons, and I will warn you, if you get offended easily and you don't like, I don't know, sensitive topics, don't watch this show. Personally, I kind of enjoyed it. It was really funny, but it follows these 5 horrible people that are just terrible people, and it's just kind of a crude comedy, and it was really funny, but if you get offended easily, don't watch it. Another show that I have been watching for years ended this month, and that was The Vampire Diaries, and let me tell you, watching that finale, I have never cried more than I have watching that. It was so sad, and I was so sad to see it end, but it was so fantastic, and I think it ended fairly well. I think it could have been done a little bit better, but I was pretty happy with the ending, even though I was sobbing. This last season was season 8, so there are 8 seasons total of The Vampire Diaries, and most of them are on Netflix, so if you haven't watched it, definitely start, or don't, because you might die like I did, but I really loved it. I will always love vampire stories, and it was just very fantastic, and the cast is beautiful and wonderful and so talented. Another show that I watched was very new, and season 1 just ended, and that is called Timeless, and it is all about time travel, and it is so good. I love the cast and like the mystery surrounding it, and just I have learned so much about history just from this TV show. So if you enjoy history and that kind of sci-fi time travel aspect, definitely watch it. I 100% enjoy it, and I cannot wait for season 2. Another new show I watched that the first season just ended is very popular, and that is This Is Us, and it follows the lives of different people and how they're all connected, and it's just kind of like one of those family drama shows. So good, so sad. I cry my way through every single episode, but it is so worth it. If you haven't started watching it, definitely go find season 1 somewhere and go watch it. It's heartbreakingly beautiful, and I can't wait for season 2. Now for the little 30-minute short comedy shows that I watch Blackish, The Middle, The Real O'Neals, Speechless, Modern Family, and The Goldbergs, and I recommend all of those. Those are like your typical family sitcoms that are just so funny. I think out of all of those, okay, I can narrow it down to 3. My 3 favorites are Speechless, The Real O'Neals, and The Goldbergs. Speechless follows a family who has a disabled son, and it's just taken care of so well, and it's so funny, and it just follows their life, and I love that family. It's just so great. And then The Real O'Neals follows this family who lives together, but they are divorced, and their son just came out, and it's a great story. It's just so funny. These shows are hilarious. And then The Goldbergs is a 80s sitcom. It's made today, but it's set in the 80s, and I love it so much. That show is absolutely hilarious, and if you love the 80s and 80s references, definitely watch that one. Another show that I have been watching for years that is currently on like season 12, I think, is Supernatural, and it, of course, is always crazy. I love Supernatural. I am a huge fan of it, and I always will be, and I just love Dean, but this season has picked up so much. This is one of the best seasons in such a long time. I am really enjoying it, and I just hope that the show never ends because it's so good. Another show I have been watching is Once Upon a Time, and I know tons of you have probably heard of this show. It's a fairy tale, storybook kind of thing, and it's so good. I love seeing all the different characters and all the different twists and spins they've made for the characters, and this season has been really intense because stuff is going down, and I think this one's on Netflix also, so you should definitely check it out. Okay, I have 4 more shows to talk about. There's 2 more 30-minute shows that I watch, and that is Trial and Error and Making History. Trial and Error just started, and it is about this man whose wife was murdered, and he is on trial for being the suspected murderer, and it's another comedy show, so it's hilarious, and I am enjoying it so far. I've only seen, I think there's 4 episodes or something, and I am really enjoying it. The other 30-minute show is Making History, and it's another sitcom. It's so funny. It's another time travel show, and it follows this guy who's super lame, and he works at a school as like a heater, janitor type of guy, and he goes back in time to get a girlfriend, and she thinks that he's the coolest thing, and the girl is actually Leighton Meester, who is on Gossip Girl, but the main guy reminds me so much of Jack Black's character in School of Rock. It is so good. I really enjoy it. One of the shows I have become recently so obsessed with is Riverdale, which is on the CW, and this is on Netflix. Like 100% go watch it. It is based off of the Archie comics, but it is like this murder mystery. So good. Also, the cast is like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I am obsessed with every single one of them, but seriously, it's one of my new favorite shows, and it's only on season 1, and I love it so much. And finally, we are at the last show I have to talk about, and that is Dancing with the Stars. The 24th season, I think it's the 23rd or 24th season, just started. There's only been 2 episodes, and I am trash for this show, to be honest. As soon as the music starts playing, I start crying. I like cry my way throughout the entire show because it just makes me so incredibly happy, and you just fall in love with so many of the stars you never even knew existed, and I just really enjoyed it. So that is it for my reading wrap up, my movie wrap up, and my TV show wrap up. I really hope y'all enjoy the whole movie and TV show thing. Each month my TV shows aren't going to be that long. I just wanted to list out the ones that I'm currently watching, and then as the month goes on I will list out the shows that I finish or the seasons that I finish. So I'll keep y'all updated on that. I hope y'all enjoy that, but let me know down below what your favorite book, movie, or TV show that you watched this month was. And thank you so much for watching. As always, my social media links will be down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!